All right, so here's a chain stitch. Now before you start stitching, the one thing you will have to do is figure out how to hold the tension of the working yarn in your non-dominant hand. For most people, that's your left hand, because if you're right-handed, you'll probably use your hook in your right hand. So for me, what I typically do is I go under, over on my left-hand fingers. I turn it this way. You're going to use your middle finger and your thumb to pinch where you're right below where you're working with your hook. And then you're going to stick your pointer finger out. Now this gives you a nice little piece of working yarn with a little bit of tension. Now, if your fingers are too tight together or too rigid, then you're going to have a hard time pulling the yarn through it, and then you'll end up with really tight, really small stitches. If they're too loose, then your stitches will be big and loopy and uneven. So finding the right amount of tension in this hand is what's really going to help determine how even your stitches end up and whether or not you're able to work back in them easily enough. An alternate method is that you can wrap it around your pinky and then make sure that it's behind your pointer finger either way, because you'll still hold your pointer finger out. You may have to hold the tension by pushing these fingers together a little bit. And then a third method is just going ahead and wrapping it around your working yarn around your pointer finger, because then that will create a little bit of resistance as you're using your working yarn. I'll go ahead and do what I'm used to, this under, over situation here. And then, like I said, you're going to use, no matter what, you're going to have your pointer finger out, and you're going to use your thumb and your middle finger to hold still right below where your hook is working. So this is about the right amount of tension for me. And so here goes our chain stitch. All we're going to do is grab our yarn and pull it through the loop. That's a chain stitch. Again, grab your yarn, pull it through the loop. Now here's what I tell my beginners. As you are pulling it through your loop, if you were to pull it straight through this way, it's just going to get caught. Everything, whatever yarn is on your hook, it's all going to get caught on the hook. So as you're pulling it through, what you do is you twist the hook down towards your thumb or whichever fingers are holding your work. That way, the tip of your hook goes down into this pointed part of your loop. Okay? See how that will grab it, but if it's facing down, it'll come right through. So let's do that again. We're going to grab our yarn. Before you get to your loop, you're going to twist it, then you'll be able to pull it through. Grab your yarn, twist down, pull through. Also, you can grab your yarn this way and pull through, especially for beginners. Some people find that a little bit harder to do just because your working yarn is not all the way around your hook and can slip off very easily. So what I tell beginners usually is grab your yarn from underneath and then pull through. Now, as you're pulling each stitch through, what you should feel is the yarn coming through this working, your left hand a little bit, your non-dominant hand, coming through whatever tension you're holding there. It should flow through, just giving you enough to pull through with. Again, if it's too loose, you're going to end up with big, loopy, non-uniform stitches, okay? And if you have your tension too tight in this hand, you'll have really, really tight stitches here. It will be hard to pull this through, and especially when we go do our next round, it will be hard to work back into these stitches. So getting the right amount of tension in your non-dominant hand is pretty much the trick. If you can figure that out, then you will be set. You can make anything. So Let's do some more chains. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, let's just do a swatch of 10 stitches. So here's 10 chain stitches. Now, whenever we go back to work into the next row, we always have to do a turning chain. So if we're going to do a single crochet, we are going to chain 1 extra. Now, we won't count this chain as a stitch. All that does is lock this 10th chain stitch into place so that we can work back into it, okay? So for a single crochet, here's what we're going to do. Each one of these chains has this lovely little V shape. So if we're holding it this way, because we're going to work back this direction, then our working, on our swatch here, these top little humps are the back loops, and then these down here are going to be the front loops, okay? You can call it top and bottom, it doesn't really matter, so long as you know what you're talking about. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip this. This was our turning chain. This locks this one into place, so we're going to ignore this for now. We're going to put our hook into this chain stitch, our 10th one, not our turning chain. We're going to put it into just that back loop of our chain stitch. We're going to grab our yarn and pull through, okay? So what that does is, that is how we're going to attach this stitch to our previous row, to our previous stitch, okay? So now that we've attached it, we've pulled up a loop through our previous row, we're going to grab the yarn and pull through both loops on our hook. That is a single crochet. Insert hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, we're just going to do that across. And when we're done, we should have 10 single crochets. We did 10 chains, and we did 1 extra chain to be our turning chain. So we did 11 technically, but only 10 of them are going to turn into single crochets. Okay, so here's what that looks like. Now, in order to count these for single crochets, you can count the posts, but the posts are the part that goes up and down. Typically, I just like to count the little V's that it makes on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We've got our 10 stitches. Okay, so now that we know how to work into a chain, we're going to go back and we are going to work back into these single crochets. So you only have to worry about working into that chain on the very first row. Okay, so now we're going to do row 2. So we had a foundation chain and row 1. Now we're going to do row 2 back this way. Before we turn our work to go back that way, we're going to again do a turning chain. And that locks this stitch into place so that we can turn our work and work right back into that same stitch we just finished. So when you went through the chain stitches to do your single crochets, you only went through 1 strand of yarn, that top or that back loop of the chain stitches. For single crochets, there are exceptions to this, but in general, for single crochets, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go back and work through the top of our single crochet stitch, which means we're going to be working through both of these strands that make up the V on top. So this leaves the post underneath, and we're going to work right through here. So as you can see, you pull your work straight, you can see all of these spots where we're going to be putting a stitch. Okay, it's going to be here here, here, kind of in between each one of these little horizontal pieces. Here, 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 etc., all the way across. Okay, we've done our chain one, our turning chain. I'm going to stick my hook in to the first stitch, again going through both the front and back loops. Pull up a loop. This part is all the same. Yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, we're going to do that across. That was 4 stitches, which means we have 6 left. Here's 5. That's halfway. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. So here's what we have now. This is our foundation chain and 2 rows of single crochet. So for every time you get to the end of your row and you're going to do another one, chain 1 as your turning chain, turn your work, and then you're ready to go again. So then you'll be going into all of these holes along the way, all the way back across, and you'll end up with 10 stitches yet again. So let's do that together. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay? So in each stitch across, and that will get us all the way back to 10. Okay? Now, every couple of rows, it's a good idea to go ahead and count and make sure that you have the same number of stitches on the row you just finished as when you started. So our goal is 10. I'm going to go back and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This little piece that goes perpendicular, that was our turning chain. So we don't count that. We just count these little V's. All right, and that is single crochet.